And I want to talk about a weapon that is pretty mediocre, but at the same time has quite a lot of potential to be a good combo weapon. What if the gas passer made the enemies go into that wet state? We'd essentially have the Girardi Bushwhacker equivalent for the Pyro. Basically, this video is my plea to Valve saying, give me an excuse to use the Neon Annihilator.
Well, isn't it funny? 6 years ago I made that, and let me tell you, it feels so good to finally have the combo I suggested finally be added. I mean, it took 7 years from implementing the weapon to get this bug fixed, but we're here, and I'm stoked to add another combo option to my repertoire. So let's give it a go, shall we? Wait, why are we showing these clips? No, stop it now! So, that gas passer buff, huh? Well, I mean, it's not technically a buff, more like a fix that was finally put in after far too long. Plenty of people have argued that this wasn't a bug to begin with, however there is evidence that the gas passer puts them into the wet state, and gosh darn it, I think it's worth calling it a bug. I have said for the longest time that comboing arguably the worst weapon Pyro has with the Neon Annihilator, a weapon that deals critical hits to those same enemies who are wet, would benefit quite a bit. Now that it's here, would I say the gas passer is finally usable? No. Well, okay, that's a bit too straightforward to be fair. The gas passer certainly has another use apart from being an area denial tool now, and allowing teammates to set enemies that are coated with it on fire, although you can do it more effectively with a flare gun, but that's beside the point. Now that it actually counts the wet state on the enemy, the Neon Annihilator is finally far more usable on all the maps in the game, which includes every map with no water, which is very exciting. That's what I would say if the gas passer actually had any sort of major buff added to it. Unfortunately, it's still the same old crappy secondary throwable, and it still comes with the downside of having to wait 60 seconds or dealing 750 damage to fully charge one use for it. That's right, I don't think I need to state how utterly useless this weapon is on its own, as plenty of other people have made this point already. But the Neon Annihilator works with it now, right? Shouldn't that help it out? Well, it certainly helps somewhat, but calling it the answer to all the gas passer's problems is stretching it a bit. Yes, it now does the full 156 critical hit damage on the enemy, but that's if they're still coated by the gas. Any source of damage taken, be it fire, bullets, melee, rockets, stickies, fall damage, you name it, will set them on fire. But that's fine, right? They're still wet, aren't they? Well, no. See, as soon as they're ignited, the wet state immediately goes away. So if they get hit by a stray bullet or projectile by one of your teammates, there goes your crit chance. How about if they're already on fire and you throw the canister at them then? Still doesn't count, as they're already on fire and doesn't have the same attributes of the Mad Milk and Girardi, where they will still be on fire even if covered by either substance. Makes sense, I suppose, but it definitely hinders your chances of using this combo. Using it also presents the risk of having no usable secondary weapon, making you rely heavily on your primary of choice. My suggestion would definitely be stock, as it allows you to deal with projectiles still and takes up less ammo to airblast compared to other choices. Or the back burner if you want to do more damage while being sneaky. When you use the two weapons together successfully, however, the issue of the enemy being ignited rears its head once again, as the sequence of events goes like this. The enemy is coated, you deal 156 damage on hit, and then they ignite, removing the wet state and having you wait another minute to get the opportunity to use it again. Well, technically you do shave off around 12 seconds on a successful Neon Annihilator hit, which, while helpful, does not fix the major flaw of the gas passer. In short, this combo works best in a playstyle that has you sneaking behind enemies more and attacking when they least expect it, and against classes with 150 health or less, which accounts for 5 of the 9 classes in a single hit. So yes, while I'm glad that this combo has finally come to fruition in the game, it leaves a lot to be desired for sure. I left some suggestions for the gas passer in my previous video about this subject, and I believe I have some better alternatives in order to make it far more usable. The first and the simplest change that would make this weapon better is to have it ready to use when spawning in. This is exactly how the other throwables work in the game already, liquid substance or not. So what makes the gas passer special where it just doesn't do this? It's already worse than the rest of the choices for the other classes, so just add this one part if you don't want to deal with the rest of the stats, and it will very easily bump the rating of the weapon up quite a bit. The second option does require the stats to be changed, and the stat that needs changing significantly is the charge time. At the very least, half the time that's needed. 30 seconds is still too much for a throwable weapon, but far better than the time it's at the moment, and that should also include halving the damage required to 375. This makes a successful critical hit from the Neon Annihilator fill the bar up by almost half, making the use of the combo far more frequent and easier to pull off. Quite frankly, I believe both of these suggestions should be put together to make it an actually decent weapon to use. God forbid Valve give the other classes actually functioning throwables, but Pyro, the class who is worse off without a consistent secondary weapon, should have a worse throwable than the rest who can either maneuver better than everyone else or can already shoot enemies from afar. Yep, sure Valve, that makes total sense to me. Regardless of the state of the gas passer, I think the fact that the wet state bug has been addressed is a great first step in allowing this combo to actually function, and will give Pyros a different option for when they want to try something new. I have been enjoying it far more than I ever imagined I would, and while yes, the wait between uses and being able to use only your primary outside of the combo can be annoying, it is very satisfying to pull off successfully. I can't state how happy it made me when I looked at the summer update patch notes after suggesting this exact fix 6 years ago, and I doubt I was the first to think of it, but man, having something new to play around with is good enough for me. And if they ever do decide to work on weapon balancing, I hope they take a look at these two and improve the synergy for both and make them function better together, and separately of course. Anyway, this is just a small subject I wanted to talk about since it came out recently. I'm hoping I'll be working on more TF2 stuff soon, so I hope you guys wait around and look forward to that. And for once, I want to give a big shout out to Agent Light for helping edit some of this video. It's much appreciated. And as always, this has been your Pyro enthusiast BonOakley signing off. See you guys in the next one.